hard to just. Whoa, we just got serious. I couldn't even say hello this time, folks. And Ray's like, hit record, let's go. We don't want to miss out on the show.
See, guys, we usually talk for like 30, 45 minutes and then before we do the show. And what happened was we would do a show and everybody's like thinking, man, you know what? That pre-show, this should have been the show. So this is what we're bringing you now is just two guys anchoring the divine masculine energy, and whatever happens, happens.
Unfiltered. This is usually the part where we talk about our week, what's happened in this last week, and how we feel about it, and all that stuff.
Well, we're doing that, but now we're inviting you guys in.
Yay!
Yay!
Woo! I know it's still tough. It's still tough for me, Ray, because I mean, we talk about like anything.
Yeah, but it's a time now where I think we got to embrace that authenticity and that transparency. You know?
Right.
Be real, man.
How are our loved ones going to feel about this?
Nah, no, nobody watches this crap anyway. So
They're gonna be okay. Is like our moms off limits, or are we talking about moms?
we can talk about anything, man. I'm down. I'm down for anything. In fact,
So
if you guys watching have any topic suggestions, let us know.
So you're not going to lean in and be like, "Hey, John with the J, don't be talking about my mom." Maybe I'll let you bring that up. Maybe I wouldn't introduce that subject.
What, moms?
Yeah. No, not as generally. But I wouldn't be like, Ray, tell me about your mom. You know, like I'll let you, like, you know.
You could ask me about my mom. I don't.
Wow, are you that really?
Yeah, I don't.
So nothing's off. Are you telling me nothing's off limits here?
Yeah, nothing's off limits.
Because in our pre-talks, nothing was off limits. So I'm just trying to clarify.
I mean, sometimes we may kind of like not use the person's name or something like that, but we're gonna be
right.
Yeah.
So we talked about that last episode, the pilot episode of the reboot.
And if it ever comes to that where something we don't want to talk about, then we'll just say like, hey, you know, or whatever.
We'll save that for the post. Save that for the post show.
Yeah.
And then we've created a whole nother show again, right? It's the pre-show and the post show. Maybe it all just becomes one show. I don't know.
Maybe that should be our paid.
And we'll call it the I don't know show.
The after party.
We don't know what it is because it's everything and nothing at all.
The miracle after party.
Seinfeld.
So what's going on, dude?
What's going on? So we did this last Sunday? Is that when we did this?
Yeah, last Sunday.
So a whole week since last we've wrapped.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm still trying to.
I'll start with something.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is something that kind of bothered me, where I kind of like second guessing myself whether I shouldn't have said this to somebody. And it's so, I don't know. I mean, I always feel like you should tell someone the truth. But I mean, maybe there's times when you shouldn't say the truth if it hurts somebody. So this is what happened, you know, and that's kind of what happened. Is so I have two friends. Let's just say the one guy is very for the medicine. You get that? And me and the other guy aren't for the medicine. And the one guy got sick. Now these two people know each other longer than you know. I'm the guy that got sick. I don't know him as well as the other guy. But I mean, so the guy was like messaging him while he was sick, like every day. Oh, I hope you feel better, blah, blah, blah. How you feeling? How you feeling today? Blah, blah. And kind of like faking compassion towards this guy and making him feel like he cared. When really, because I feel like he was getting joy out of seeing him suffer, being sick because he didn't get the medicine. And he even said like, oh yeah, he regrets not getting the medicine. He's you know, basically saying how dumb, like to me, like how he disagrees with this and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, look at him. He didn't get, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, you know, whatever, you know, he made it. He's fine, you know, and he got better. and everything. And but it really kind of like bothered me how he was kind of like acting like he cared about him, because he would just come to me and be like and talk crap. So I ran in, this is like months ago now, and everything he's fine, and we're talking at the bar, and I said like, we're talking about this, and I said, it just made me feel bad that I feel like, he wasn't really he was being phony, and I told him how he said to me, oh, he wishes he got the medicine, and he was like, yeah, I never said that, I'm glad I didn't get it, and everything's fine. I got through it, and it was tough, but whatever, and he had another sickness on top of it, and that was really was the complication, really. But anyways, and I told him like, yeah, and I just felt bad because, and I told him I felt bad, like, I feel like he was pretending that he cared about you, and he really didn't. He was just getting like validation for his decision, seeing you making, like that. And I said that, and he started tearing up, and then made me think like, oh, maybe I should have just left that alone. But then part of me was like, maybe this person needs to know that this guy isn't like really like, on his side, or being a little bit kind of shady, kind of posing like he's empathetic towards him when he's really not at all. Like, I don't think really at all. And he kind of teared up, but then he kind of agreed though, because he said like, yeah, like I think you're right. But I felt bad for saying that though. I don't know, and it made me think that like, maybe sometimes telling the truth isn't always the best thing to do, and it's sort of like
Such a
it.
tough place to be, man. Having
Hmm?
that information is such a tough place for, you to be.
Yeah,
Having that
'cause-
information and
yeah,
then,
because he kind of confided in him, and he made him, and I feel like the guy was just like, he liked to hear that he was like in pain, and he was like not really doing that well, because it justified his decision. He felt like it justified his decision, like, it boosted his ego, like, he got the medicine, and look, this guy didn't. He's, you know, really sick, and then going and then kind of acting like, yeah, but, about it. And it was just kind of like, it kind of pissed me off that he was kind of doing that to him. I felt like he was being kind of taken advantage of, but I don't know. So,
so what do you think made him up, like tear up? What do you think that was?
I think when he found out that, um, see, this the guy that got sick is a very lonely guy. He doesn't really have like many friends, and I think I think he kind of appreciated. He kind of thought like it was good that, look, this guy cares about me. He's calling me every day. Hey, how are you feeling today? Blah 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 blah. And so I think it kind of hurt him that he like, you know, f- learning that someone's not really being caring as he thought they were. Someone, you find out someone you think cared about you is being phony or being fake,
Right.
or just, kind of narcissistic in a way, and I think it, and I could tell it hurt him. He started kind of tearing up a little bit, like his eyes got, you could see it in his eyes, and I
So
don't know, I
does
felt
that,
bad.
right, right. Well, of course, I mean, it's natural to, I mean, even though, we thought crying's a good thing, right? It's still hard to see sometimes and hard to
Well,
feel.
yeah. Plus, when you feel like you're the one responsible for it.
Right, right. But, no, no, but, but, let me butter all over this butt. How do you ultimately feel? I mean, like, do you feel good that you shared the truth? Because
A
you
mix.
started the conversation off,
I'm
I don't
kind
know
of,
if it's
I'm kind of
always
mixed on it. I'm mixed on it. Like, in some ways, I feel it's a good thing because I feel like that person needs to hear that. And then second, then I start thinking like, yeah, I didn't want to hurt his feeling. And then I start thinking like, well, and then I come to start doubting myself a little bit. I think I was kind of gaslighting myself afterwards a little bit, thinking like, what if he really did care? What if that was the more in my mind? Or I mean, I started thinking like, was it more of, am I saying it based more on opinion when it really, maybe it wasn't as true as I thought it was. Maybe, maybe he was really being empathetic, and I don't know, and what if I'm just making an assumption on that, and I really wasn't. But I mean, I know what I know. I know what I saw what I saw, and I heard what I heard. So, but sometimes I feel like it just made me, I don't know, doubt myself a little bit too, and or
How would you, all that makes sense, and I mean, it's just having a human experience here, man. I mean, does
yeah.
it, like, so how do you think you would have felt if you didn't say anything?
You know what? I don't know. Now I'm thinking. Now you said that, I kind of feel better for saying it, because it's kind of, it would have kind of like, I don't know. It's like, it's almost like when you see somebody getting like ripped off, and you know that person's getting ripped off, and it's like, you know, but there are two people that that rip. I mean, two friends are ripping it. One's
Yeah.
ripping the other guy off. It's like, you don't want to get involved. Like, do I get involved? But it's like you feel kind of, I feel the empathy for him that he's getting ripped off, and I feel like,
Right.
that part of me is like more, I want to come in there, and maybe that's part of me being like a helper type, or something within me of, like that, and wanting to do that, get in there and be like, yeah, this guy is like, you know,
Then here, dude, here's the next
take
level
the F you,
challenge.
you know?
Here's some next level challenge. I'm just thinking about it as I hear you talking about it. But how about in that instance being able to relate somehow to the person that's taking advantage of the other person and empathize with them? Why are they?
Yeah, I mean, I could see why he was doing that, because he kind of, I mean, he's the guy that got the medicine, that was doing the, not being, pretending, in my mind, be empathetic. Um, so what the question is, how can I empathize with him?
And
Yeah,
connect, because you instantly said I connect with the guy getting taken advantage of, and like I can cut, and my protector, or
yeah, I could see it, because I think sometimes we get joy. I think there's a part of us, a dark side of us, that kind of gets joy when, like, we see somebody making a mistake that we believe, if we're on the side of something, and we see the person in the opposition of that failing,
yeah,
or whatever, in some way, sometimes we do take pleasure in another person's misery. Sometimes we do that. I mean, I think we've all done that, just a part, just being, being human, and in some respect, like maybe even somebody that, like, you didn't like, and you see them, whatever, get yelled at work, or make a mistake, or do something. Sometimes we be like,
yeah.
karma, but so I could see why he, I could understand it, and kind of.
So now, all right, you're, you're playing more around the entirety of the ballpark here. You've been out in left field, you've kicked some dirt around the infield, and so now, do I say something? Do I not say something? Do I say something to each of them?
um I don't know if see, the thing is that it happened like months ago, and
Not necessarily today, but like
I don't know, down,
retrospect.
maybe down the line, if something came up, if it
Yeah,
somehow was sort of brought up in the conversation,
yeah.
and I would just be like, yeah, I didn't think that was cool, that you were kind of just like, you know, taking joy in that guy's misery, just because he has a different stance on something than you do. And I feel like, I mean, you were just kind of like, kind of acting like, oh, I hope you get better, blah 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 blah. How you feeling today? And I mean, dude, it was obvious you're kind of, it was an ego boost for you, seeing him not feeling well, because it justifies you feel it justifies your decision or your stance on something.
Damn, dude. Been carrying that with you for a little bit.
Well, this was just, well, when was, what, today is, what is it, Monday, right? Yeah, it was Saturday that this happened, that I told the guy. Yeah, I don't know. So I just kind of like, when I saw the reaction, I was kind of a little bit like, it kind of
Yeah.
got to me.
Yeah.
You don't want to bring someone pain or, or anything like that.
Right.
So I don't know. Have you ever done? Have you? I mean, obviously not this kind of situation, but have you ever been in a situation where you've maybe told someone a hard truth or somebody like that, or maybe expressed, and then you could see that like maybe you were like, oh,
Yeah,
maybe I should.
dude. Yeah, that happens all the time. Like, especially, I mean, that's the first thing I'm thinking about was when I was a manager, and for a company that was very big mission state, everything was around integrity and stuff, and so it's like it was like a religion, like we are walking the one way, and this is the highway, and there's only one highway, and like
Mm-hmm.
it was strict, man. And so with that came a lot of honest conversations, and when you're leading a team of many in that environment, and which is like the restaurant industry, it's chaos, man. You're just trying to keep everything from exploding, right?
Yeah.
And and to do that whilst you're making shit up, and you're like, it's okay because this is a different culture and a different concept, and you're going to say whatever you got to say to make this person give you the money and get out the door and turn and burn baby butts and seats, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's easy. Excuse me, I didn't get my coffee. Coffee machine's broken right now. It'll be, so the service man's on the way. The coffee machine's not broken.
Yeah.
Shelly forgot her coffee, and it's all these lies, little what, she's not going to know. Oh, okay, honey, the coffee machine's broken. Lies everywhere, lies everywhere. When you walk around and someone asks you a question and you tell them the truth, Shelly forgot your coffee. Um, it's just going to be another few moments from apart. It's a different conversation. It's not, yeah, lady, we got it. Coffee machine, ambulance is coming, blah, blah, blah. And you're walking away going, gotcha, catch me on the flip side. It's a lot different than, we've made a mistake and this is how we're going to correct it. And like, right? It's a different
Yeah.
energy too, man. It's like, so that chaos is gone because you have to be the calm in the storm. And in a weird way, the truth ended up being the way that happened.
Right. Yeah.
So when you're in that, yeah, it's hard because it's hard in that particular arena, because I'm trying to relate to the question that you asked, because it's a totally different arena, right? Like there versus your story, right? Like there, I might have to like, oh my, there, that's where I was trying to go. Everything is propelling me to like make up a quick fix lie, right? But I'm guided by okay, this is the way that I'm trained to do it. This is the way that the expectation of my team, those above and alongside me, right, are waiting for me to either execute emphatically or fail miserably and I'm gone. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's really no middle ground there. And so, but yours is not like, oh, like I could just lie to my, yours is a little different.
Yeah. But I didn't have to say anything.
Right? There's that too.
I wasn't like it wasn't like I was really like cornered to like say that, but I mean, but we were talking about that topic though, the sickness and everything.
Yeah.
So that was up, and that's what kind of like brought that out. I mean, because it was like, it is because it bothered me when it was going on, and
Yeah.
and everything, and it's just, that's why I did that. But I don't know. Part of me just, there's a part of me too that doesn't like to, um, what do you want to call it? Create waves, I guess. Sometimes I feel like I'm creating waves, and was
Right.
that a wave I created that didn't need to? But I know that person's not gonna go up to him and be like, he's not gonna confront him on anything like that. I know that. So, I just don't want to create waves and be like, and I start thinking, am I just creating drama? that doesn't need to be. So that's a little bit too, kind of cause that, but yeah, telling the truth. I think sometimes too, what your situation is too, telling the truth versus telling a convenient lie. It's definitely like comes in the approach of how you go about telling the truth. Because you could just, you
You
could,
don't be a dick. That's one thing
yeah,
I was taught. Like you can tell the truth, just don't be a dick. Like if someone walks by and you think that their skirt is ugly, you don't say, "Hey, that skirt is making me want to throw up," or that pair of
so
jeans is the most
so
disgusting thing I've
would
ever
you
seen.
say you have to use loving awareness when you
Right,
tell?
right,
Yeah.
right. And why would you just tell someone that their jeans are disgusting? Like that's being a dick.
Yeah.
But it's the truth. And if we're talking about fostering one's feelings, one should feel okay to tell someone that their jeans are disgusting. No, that's just being a dick.
Yeah, I think sometimes people use that. People say like, yeah, I tell like harsh truths or whatever like that. I'm brutal. I'm brutally honest.
Brutally
People will
honest.
say they're brutally
Yeah,
honest
don't do that. That's being a
when they're
dick.
really saying it like, hey, I'm a dick.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really what they're saying, but they're trying to say that to them to justify being a dick.
And it's cool when we can have the awareness to tell that person that, like, no, 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 it's okay, dude. You're just being a dick. But that's one of your aspects, and I honor it. I have a little dick in me too. Like, I have a little. That did not come out properly at all. I have a dick aspect in me as well. There we go. In fact, it's quite substantial aspect. There, that's better, I guess. I don't fucking care. Potato, tomato, potato.
Yeah. So telling the truth,
Telling the truth. Just look, it's hard, folks. The truth. Relax.
right?
It's difficult. And it's a lifetime. Like we're still unlearning a lot of lie culture. We're still unlearning a lot of deeply programmed scripture and TV injection and just a lot of heavy, thick, long time sustained reels. And this is right.
Yeah. This kind of reminds me a little bit too of there's a not to always, go back to like Ram Dass, but like there's a famous story that Ram Dass tells with his guru Maharaji told him when he was in India, he would go there and every day he would tell him the two separate things. Like one day he would say like Ram Dass love everyone. And that was his teaching for the day. So he would go out and he would like, I love you, and hug everyone. And next day would be tell the truth. So he would just be like try to, brutally honest with people. And so every other day it was love everybody and tell the truth till he realized the truth was that he didn't love everybody. That was his, and he was like, he would pretend he loved everyone, but he guess he hated a lot of the other people that were around there and, that were the devotees and stuff like that. And that's really what he was doing. So he would put that, bring up to that awareness of, man, I really I don't love everybody. And then he got in this whole thing where he got pissed off because he missed the bus back to the temple and he ended up taking like a plate of food and throwing at somebody. And then Maharaji calls him over and he's like, I thought I told you to love everybody. And he's like, yeah, but you told me to tell the truth and I don't. And then he just like told him like, listen, he just basically said like, first he's like, do you love me? And then he fell apart.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Ram Dass, love everybody and tell the truth. And what he said, what he came up to, what Maharaji was telling him was who he would be once he was done being who he thought he was. Because the person who he thought he was somebody who didn't love everybody. Wow. What Maharaji was explaining to him is that showing him who he would be, love everybody and tell the truth. So I guess it kind of like those two things were in conflict with each other. So it kind of brought that awareness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a very inevitable, that's the word I was searching for, wave that's future building. It's almost here, I think, of this sweeping wave of truth culture that's just gonna take over I think in a very, very grand way, like
Yeah.
something could it go dangerously in the other direction? Absolutely. But I think I feel like it's going to happen soon and it's going to be beautiful.
Do you think that something's gonna cause that, like maybe like a lot of lies getting exposed, and then it's gonna be like, how do
That's
we fall for all this?
it's a
Now
good
we need
it's a good question, Phoenix, right?
because usually
That
usually when a big tide happens, it's usually in to some other shock. It's always usually a reaction, like a pendulum will go one way, then it's like, oh my god, and but the problem is the pendulum always swings always too far. We always overcompensate way too much for everything.
yeah.
But I guess I'd rather be in an environment, a society that's too honest than being shady or being manipulative, and because even a slight lie can really do a lot of damage, to the wrong person, or
Yeah, man.
somebody.
And that's so it man comes back to the beginning of where this whole story train took off, man. It's what do you do? I think you made the best decision, man.
Yeah,
It wasn't a secret that you had to keep. It
no,
wasn't you snitching on anybody or anything like that. It was,
right,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it was you having information that another human being is going to prosper by you sharing with them.
right. And maybe he didn't like to hear that, but down the road it could definitely benefit him.
Right. We've lost friends over sharing information like that
Yeah,
because not just you, but we that do our best to live that way and are by any stretch of the imagination immaculately 100% pure positive, at the end of the day it can't. I mean, like, again, like I said, reels and reels of information to unlearn and unprogram. But I where
they
was I
say
going?
the truth will set you free.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like that wave's coming. That's it. Just be on the wave. Be on the wave.
The wave of truth.
It sounds corny, but I mean, like, you know what I'm saying,
I
right?
know what you're saying. Yeah, and man, I hope I could see it happening, and I hope you're right. I think
Because we
it's gonna.
said we weren't going to see certain things in our lifetime, right? We weren't going to see the legalization of that's just silly. They're not going to legalize that. They fucking legalized it, like, right?
Right.
And it's not complete. It's still happening, whatever. But like, I don't say that. Like, I never thought in my life. I don't think I'll ever say that again because I don't feel like I could be shocked anymore.
Yeah, especially everything going on in the past few years. It's just like everything's been kind of just flipped upside down, and it's like you read some of these things going on. It's like nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing they could say like, oh yeah, UFO just landed on top of the White House. I'd be like, yeah, probably. I would. Nothing surprises me.
Just remembered where I was derailed.
Hmm.
I was talking about losing friends over sharing the truth. And then I went on
Okay.
some poetry soapbox tangent moment and then got lost in the stars. I'm back down on planet Earth. Yeah, it's something that happens so often when you feel like, right, like we're friends because this is why we're friends. If we're being real, is because you would tell me the truth.
Yeah.
And I bank on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, like if you were the person that wouldn't have told the truth, I don't know if we'd be friends. I'm not like, I'm not saying, but I'm saying I don't have a lot of friends, right?
Okay.
As
Yeah.
close as you, especially male friends, right?
Right.
So I've selected you and you me for very specific reasons. Like this is a pretty elite club here, man. So like the fact that that wasn't even a thing. It was just like, oh yeah, I can trust this guy.
Right.
Oh, and if I need the truth, he's gonna bring it to me. And like all the other things. But like,
Yeah. Well, I think the environment that we met to
yeah.
really, I mean, we both did the, in case anyone watching, we both met at the Teal Swan completion process workshop. And so they had us pair up and, we were basically spilling our deepest, sharing our deepest emotions, our deepest experiences of pain and sadness and just and trauma. We did this to each,
And look, that doesn't mean that the person that you're sitting with or you get paired up with is going to be your BFF for life. Because
no, but I'm saying it builds a foundation that built like a foundation of
it
trust.
can, and for us it did. Because
Yeah.
other people sometimes they're like, oh my God, the last person, like they did not connect. So Ray and I had something that was there, and then we were given this gift to get paired up.
Hmm.
And that just really fortified everything. So it was like, all right, I might be able to trust this guy. And then boom, you're in it, and you're like, all right, we're going full speed, man. Don't take your eye off the road, Ray, please. You're like, I got this. And I'm like, he's got it. We're good. And we're here today, folks.
That's right.
Telling the truth. Losing
Telling it.
friends, though, but that's okay.
Yeah. So make sure when you tell the truth, you do it with an open heart. You do it with compassion and not just, be a dick.
And
Be a dick
no,
about it.
and don't bring any expectation to the truth table either, because you don't know how someone's going to take the truth.
Yeah,
So
sometimes you may be thinking like, oh man, this person's gonna blow up, or this person's gonna be mad, or this person's gonna be sad about it. And somebody tell the truth, and that person's just like, oh, thank you, or very thankful, very grateful, or sometimes they're just like, oh yeah, I know. It's not even that big a deal, but maybe sometimes we built it up as well in our minds.
man, we could. I thought of many other ways that I was going to take this conversation initially, and then it just went where it needed to go. I'll save the other stuff for next time or whatever. But
All
it
right.
all came to truth, man. Just
Yeah, I wasn't really planning on that either. I had this,
what we
this
didn't know.
there,
Yeah.
in I was either gonna bring that up or something else, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll share this because this is relevant. This is an experience, and then
Yeah, man.
but we don't know where this is gonna take us in conversation. So
Even get to tell you about my adventures around the city and stuff. And like, I guess we'll just have to wait till next time.
guess so.
Or the post show. Y'all gonna miss out, though. I'm just saying. As soon as I hit done, that's when it gets live. Ray breaks out of his show. I get even sillier. Trust me. Like you're gonna want to see the post show someday. Patreon. $1 a month, folks. Get on that. Let's go. We have like 0 people in that, right?
Yeah, I think
Someone's got to be first. Let's go. Let's grow, folks. Patreon, Linktree, do all the stuff. We love that some of you are still watching. So thank you. Much love.
yes.
There'll be a day when there'll be others, Bodhi friends. We're not there yet, but we're not giving up.
That's right.
I'm John with the J.
I'm Phoenix Ray.
We're out.
We out.
Till next time. And we'll be in. Oh wait. Did I hit stop recording? I didn't.